Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, baby. Today we're gonna talk about something that's not about Madrid or Barcelona. We're gonna talk about the game yesterday between Liverpool and Manchester City. Listen, like if you saw the video yesterday, you saw I just uploaded the video for Madrid real quick because I still wanted to do it while it was fresh in my head. But the game was still going on, right? And in it, I said that it was at that point Liverpool were winning. They were up by one, but it wasn't. It was a bad one, man. It could have been a lot more than that, and it wasn't. I don't know. Like it should have been a lot more than one. And by the time the game ended, it was 2-0, and it was the same shit. Like they should have, like it was you know what it was? It was just like the Liverpool game that Madrid played. It was exactly like it. It was 2-0, but it could have been a lot more. And to be honest, Liverpool just outplayed Man City for the entirety of the fucking match. Now, Liverpool right now is looking like the best team in Europe, right? Both in the Champions League and in the Premier League. They're 9 points ahead of their closest rivals, Arsenal, Chelsea, and 11 points of Brighton, of all fucking teams, I believe. And now 11 points of Man City. But basically, that game yesterday was, to me, a very, very early title decider, right? It's you have the two teams, the two arguably the two best teams in the Premier League over the past like 10 years. Um, and as soon as a gap like that opens up between them, it's hard to overcome. Now, with that being said, we're literally just the second day into December, so there's still a lot of the league left to play. But at this point, man, like Liverpool put themselves in an excellent position. At this point, it's their title to lose. If yeah, and unless something dramatic happens, they probably are just gonna go ahead and just steamroll to the title. Um, but the one thing you can't do is count out Man City, especially because of the way that Liverpool have choked this shit before in the past. Um, because they've choked it a few seasons, man. And if what's crazy, if you go through the league tables, right, for the majority of the time that Man City's won, it's not even that Liverpool's lost a lot. It's just they just drop points and in situations where why the fuck did they drop these points? And a lot of those are just draws, right? And draws are not losses, but at the end of the day, you're still dropping 2 points per match, especially if you go through and just take all those draws. Now, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that way. The way that Slot has Liverpool playing, I really hope it's not like that because I don't honestly, I'm not a Pep guy, right? Like I'm not a Pep guy. I think that overall he's overrated. Now, before you fucking come from my head, remember people think that he's the best coach of all time. I don't think he's the best coach of all time. So to me, with him being overrated, I just don't think like he's top three. I just don't think he's the very first one. Now that's something else that I'm gonna say for another video down the line. Um, but yeah, so like for example, if what he did in Barcelona is unrepeatable, unrepeatable. But to be honest, I think he lost a lot of credit, at least to me, for what happened in Munich. He took over a trouble-winning team, and they got bounced 3 times back to back to back to Spanish teams, and they weren't even close. And unless something changed, at one point Pep said that the worst defeats of his managerial career was against Madrid in the 13-14 season, where we went on to win the Decima and we just trampled over them. Right? So now, the reason why I'm even bringing up Pep as an overall coach is because people gotta chill, bro. Like people gotta chill. Like I might think he's overrated overall, but as of now, as of speaking right now, he's still the best active coach in the world, right? Now, say what you say about his system. Like I'm not a fan of what I think it does to players' creativity. I think it relies way too much on an actual system, and of just passing the ball back and back and back. And I think it takes away from the genius that individual players have. Like I don't think it lets players who are like Vinny. I don't think he'd be able to do the flary shit he does, or Neymar. He'd be able to do the flary shit he does if they ever played under Pep Guardiola. Now, he still wins at the end of the day. That's what matters. But just me as a football fan, I like to see these players do that type of shit, right? But bro, like first of all, relax. He's not gonna get fucking sacked. If Man City sacked Pep Guardiola after what this his first stint in a manager where there's 8 games with him without winning, that'd be a fucking huge L. Especially after he did everything he did for him, right? Yes, up until they won the Champions League, he didn't win anything that they didn't win without him. But bro, like he's fucking led them into a golden generation and a golden era in the club's history. Got them the first Champions League. They won the treble. They fucking at this point, bro. No matter, even if you're a diehard Man United fan, right, and if you believe in your heart and soul that history has your back, from the 2010s forward, bro, Man United has been shit compared to Man City. Like I'm not a Man City fan. I'm not a Pep Guardiola fan. But you can't look at me in the fucking face and tell me that since 2010 forward, right, Man United has been the better team and that Manchester has been red. Now through overall history, of course, like you're not gonna fucking take away anything from Man United and give it to Man City if you're talking about the entire history of the clubs, right? But unfortunately, like other things in the sport, there's a lot of recency bias for it, and you have to see, like, and you have to say it how it is. Since 2010, Manchester City has dominated, and the majority of that time that they've dominated, and the majority of the trophies that they've won, and the one that they've won that have been meaningful, has come because of Pep Guardiola. There's no fucking argument there, right? So relax. He's not gonna get sacked. If he does get sacked, that'd be one of the biggest L's a club has ever done, and that's gonna fall strictly on Man City, right? So they're not gonna do that. Plus, to be honest, like let's say he he just deserves a fucking chance to rebuild the squad, right? He deserves a chance to, even if they finish to me outside the Champions League spots, which they're not. It's not gonna happen, right? The odds of it are they're always there, but come on, like what are the odds they're gonna finish outside of a Champions League spot? It's very very fucking small, right? But if by any chance they did, he would still deserve a fucking another year in charge. He would still deserve it. So like right now, he has gotten the credit for Man City to leave on his own fucking terms. So he's not gonna get sacked. Now, with that being said, it does look like a bad season for him. To me, Ruben Diaz being out hits him more than Rodri being out, and that's a lot saying that Rodri is arguably, or to be honest, like right now, I don't even think arguably, like, he's the best center defensive midfield in the world, right? There's no, I can't think of anybody on top of my head that even come close to it. At least not right now. I've seen like fucking memes comparing him to prime N'Golo Kante. He's not. He's nowhere near prime N'Golo Kante. So don't fucking come up to me with that shit. But right now he's the best center defensive midfielder in the world, and I still think Ruben Diaz's absence hits more than his. Now, injuries been hitting a lot of clubs this season. We'll see what happens when their injuries come back. Obviously, Rodri's out for the remainder of the season. I'm not sure how long Ruben Diaz is out for, because to be honest, I don't remember at the top of my head what his injury was. But I don't believe he's out for the season. He should be back, I believe, by January, right? But the thing is, by then, like if they lose any more points, which it looks more and more likely, honestly, each time they fucking play, they're not going to be in contention for it at all. And the reason why it was such a title decider for me yesterday is because overcoming double digits in any type of league is hard enough, let alone in the Premier League. Now, if obviously if they won, they'd be 9 points. It'd be a 9 point difference, and 3 games is not a lot, right? Because at that point they still got to play you, right? And with everything that's happened, I'm pretty sure Man City feel confident that if they ever face Liverpool again, and then at least the next time, next time in the season, away at the Etihad, that they could walk away with all 3 points. It's not, it's not crazy to think. Plus, Liverpool's gonna drop points between now and the end of the season, and for some reason, Man City has a thing where towards the end of the season they just fucking refuse to drop points. So with 9 point difference, you can't really count them out. When it reaches 11, that's when it becomes very very hard. Now, at that point, they could always catch up and finish second. I don't see Arsenal overtaking Liverpool. I don't see Chelsea overtaking Liverpool. Chelsea's been a lot better than they were last season, but they're still. I still don't think they're getting there. Maybe another season or two before they become regular title contenders like they were. But right now, I just don't see it happening. Like Liverpool would have to do an amazing choke job in order to lose at this point the Premier League, and if they do, it's honestly on them. I know it's early December, but still, man, an 11 point gap, you can't let that shit slip. No matter who you play, no matter what you do, you got to remember that your opponent is Man City and Pep Guardiola. And yeah, man, like for everything that Pep does, he's choked a whole bunch of Champions League titles literally just by choking and overthinking shit. So, at the end of the day, he's still fucking like I can't I'm trying to think of other ways to say it, man. He's Pep Guardiola. So yeah, man, it's gonna be hard. The squad that they have is still very solid, which is why it's honestly surprising, because even with Rodri and Diaz out, it's very similar to Barcelona's status and what you guys heard me say before with Lamine Yamal. Like, it's crazy that they're relying on just one person. With Yamal, it's crazier because it's a 17-year-old. But like look at what we're doing. Look at what we did last season with the majority of our backline out. You telling me you take out just Ruben Diaz from that fucking defensive line and it goes to shit? Like, that's fucking insane. And same thing with the midfielder, right? Gundogan's not the player he was when he left Man City. Unfortunately, that year in Barcelona, it looks like it fucking wrecked him compared to what he was before, right? But you still have enough quality in midfield, at least I believe, to fucking do something about it. You know what I mean? So, I, I don't know. It was a great game to watch if you overall don't like Pep Guardiola. Like I said, I even though you gotta acknowledge everything that that he has done and what he is and who he is and what he is as a coach. You know, like I praise everything that he does, but I'm still not a fan of him, right? Oh, and by the way, this what he did, this is perfectly fine for him to do. But I want everybody to fucking remember when Jose Mourinho did that, when Ronaldo did that to Simeone, and when Vinny did that, all the fucking hate they got. Like, yo, man, you gotta stay humble. You gotta stay humble. Where the fuck? Like, where are y'all? Where the fuck are y'all now? Yo, keep the same energy. Oh shit. Oh shit. Sorry. Oh fuck, man. I'm telling you, I've had this cold for like fucking 3 weeks, dude. If you guys got a cold, bro, just fucking take care of it. Cause whatever the hell cold is going around here, I'm in Jersey. That shit is sticking and it's fucking hitting you hard. Um, but yeah, man, like it's this. Oh, there's a lot of leagues this season that are gonna be very very exciting to watch. And the Premier League is gonna be one of them. Even though there's that gap on top, honestly, man, in the span of a month, a lot of shit could change, and especially if Liverpool want to keep that momentum in Europe, right? Like right now, they're easily the best team in Europe. It's showing it both in the in their league, in the Premier League, and in the Champions League. So if they want to do that, if they want to keep up with both cups that they're going to be participating in England, it's they're gonna have to do some heavy rotations. They're gonna have to do some things where they might not be able to field their best 11. You know, aside from hopefully not, but hopefully nobody gets injured. But there's gonna be times where Man City and other teams could possibly catch up. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. It's still Liverpool's title to lose, but it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be cool to watch. But yeah, guys, till the next one. Laters.